Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our MLS Monday here on a beautiful sunny Monday. Yesterday wasn't the case so much, but we got beautiful skies today. So today we are talking MLS fully loaded, which means we are going to go through all of the tools that we offer here at Florida Gulf Coast MLS. So we are going to do, if you've been to any of our broker office visits before and you've seen me talk about this, we talk about all of the tools and we kind of try to do like a rush through all of them. And we called it the MLS speed dating, right? Because we have so many tools here in the MLS and talking through them is like extensive work. And so we try to kind of go through as many as possible in a speed dating round. So today we're going to go through each and every tool that we offer you, where your training resources are, um, so that if there's something you need to look in more, you wanted to learn more about, you could absolutely go and do that. Because today it's going to be surface level. We're going to go through everything so that you know what's available to you, but we're not going to take a deep dive into them. If it's your first time here on MLS Monday, then what you do need to know about MLS Mondays is we do this every single week and we take deep dives into tools. So if you see a tool specifically that you like, go back and look at the calendar for the rest of the MLS Mondays and see if there's one that we're going to cover, or you can find it. I'll show you guys here in a few minutes. All of the MLS Mondays get recorded and they get posted to our YouTube channel so that you can certainly go and find that out for a deep dive on the tools that you guys are interested in. So it looks like everyone is logged in. Without further ado, let's hop into our website first. I'll share my screen with you guys. All right, so first and foremost, let's hop out to the website because this is where you're going to find a lot of information. If there's something that I haven't, fully explained for you today that you might need, come out to this website. You'll find a lot of information. So rpcra.org, we'll start here at the home page so you know where you land when you go to rpcra.org. Out here is everything association and MLS related that you might need. Up here in our top hamburger menu, if you come down to Florida Gulf Coast MLS, you'll see here are all of our resources. So first and foremost, what I want to point out to you guys is the MLS tech and tool benefits. So we're going to go through every piece of tech that we offer you today, but it's also listed here, every single tool that you get. And if you hover over it, it'll expand and give you more information about that tool. You can even click learn more, and that will bring you out to that vendor's website so that you can find out exactly what it is that they have. So we also have available to you out here lots of different learning experiences. First off, if you go to the on-demand learning and you click this button, it will bring you out to our YouTube channel. And it looks like we already have a question. First timer, am I in? Dan, if you can hear me, you're definitely in. And for those of you who might have questions along the way, use the Q&A box at the bottom. Do not use the chat box. The chat box is disabled in webinar style on Zoom, but you can use the Q&A box. All right, so this is our YouTube channel, Florida Gulf Coast MLS. What's great about our YouTube channel is if you click into playlists, we have it completely organized for you by tool. This will make it a little bit easier, and they all have the image cards on the front so that you know exactly what you're clicking into. But every single tool is sorted out here. So showing time, the MLS and matrix, you've got Domus Analytics, Sun Stats, and it'll tell you like how many videos there are for each. Some of them have a few videos, and then if you go down to, for example, my favorite is RPR has 52 videos, and you can certainly click View Full Playlist. It will open up every single video on that tool. So this is the best place to take a deep dive on it. In the playlist area, we have our videos that we've made for you along with the vendors' videos. That's why RPR has so many videos, because they have their own YouTube channel. So we've linked them all. It's basically a one-stop shop for you, so you don't have to go out and like go to Ad Builder and then or go to ours as well. Every video we've made and every video that they've made on YouTube is out here. But also, you've got the playlist right here for the MLS Monday webinars. You can see that we've had 73 going on 74. And again, you click View Full Playlist, and you will be able to see them in order here. So 6 days ago, 12 days ago, and they are all in order here so that you can go ahead and find those. If you're looking for something specific, certainly go ahead and go to the video tab, and then you can search through for that video. So if you have any questions on how to find this or you're struggling to find it, first and foremost, it is on our website, right here, the video on-demand learning section, but it is also out here on the dashboard, which we're going to come back out here in a minute. But if we scroll all the way down, the YouTube button is right there so that you can access the training at all times. The other resources we have for you is separately, we've got the Florida Gulf Coast MLS Training Hub. Now, what this is the live vendor trainings along with their pre-recorded stuff. So you'll see Cuba Casa and Rent Spree have classes that are coming up. They actually have classes very regularly. So they're linked here at the top. If any of our vendors send us classes and say, hey, we're holding a webinar, tell your agents, we put it in the weekly a lot of times, but then you'll also see it linked here. But if you come down below, these are pre-recorded trainings from our vendors. So some of our vendors don't all utilize YouTube, right? We've got the playlists out on YouTube so you can go find it, but some of them, they house them right there on their website. So if you come out here, we've linked everything that you need here and they're all labeled. You click on the topic and it'll do a drop down. So you can see Damas Analytics, for example, they have a lot of videos here, but they only had a few videos on YouTube, and that's because they house them all on their website. So I would always say, like, if you're trying to take a deep dive into a tool, check YouTube and check this place. We try to link it everywhere so you can find everything possible. But those are your main learning resources here through Florida Gulf Coast MLS. So now that we've talked about where you can find all the learning aside from us here, let's hop back into tools and benefits and talk about everything that you get with your membership. So again, this page is a great place to start. To go through, read about every tool, figure out what you have. And I always tell people, whether it's at new member orientation or we go to broker office visits, and I'm like, guys, I know it's so easy to log into the MLS. We go to that dashboard and first thing we click is MLS and we just do what we need and we go about our day. But I think it's really important for you guys to take an inventory of all of the tools that exist out here, because I'd hate for you guys to have a tool that's freely offered to you through your membership, and then you go out and pay for a tool that's doing the same thing, right? We want to wisely use our marketing dollars. So let's go through these one at a time. First and foremost is the MLS. We all know what that does. We put our listings in it. We search for listings in it. It is our main baby here, and that is your database tool. Towards the end of this webinar, if we have time, depending on questions, I'll hop back into MLS and give you guys a little bit of an update of the new stuff we've got coming out, the upgrades that have just released and the upgrades that are coming in MLS. Next up is Form Simplicity. All right, so this tool is a main tool that I know a lot of you guys already use. It is offered through Florida Realtors, and we have it linked here locally. What Form Simplicity does for you is it has every single Florida contract that you need out here, and it also does e-signing. So you can manage all of your transactions out here, all of your paperwork, all of your forms. You can fill them out, print them and take them with you, or you could send them off for e-signature. So you can manage multiple transactions, you can grab blank forms, create separate files, have all of your contacts in here. And again, this is going to be a tool that's mainly just for your transaction coordination when it comes to paperwork. Really a lifesaver. Most of your forms that you do use come from Florida Realtors directly and their legal group up there, unless you're using NABOR contracts. But so Florida Realtors puts everything right there. They also send stuff out on feeds. You might use a different tool at your brokerage. That's fine. I know there's a lot of different tools out there that exist, and some people love Form Simplicity, some people love other things, but that tool is offered to you through Florida Realtors and through Royal Palm Coast Realtor Association. We also, just a fun point for Form Simplicity, any forms that we have here locally are in that program as well. So all of your sheets for input, right? Like you can grab the sheets off of MLS, but you can also come out here, go to blank forms. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to load. I have to accept the terms and conditions. So you can come out here and grab the forms for inventory. and input, and it'll help you walk through your listing. So out here, if we come down to Royal Palm Coast Realtor Association, this is where you'll be able to see our board specific forms. And these are all the input sheets for you, which make it really, really easy to fill out, have your seller sign off on it before you put in the MLS. But any forms that you're looking for outside of the regular contract stuff, we load them all in there. We also load them in dot loop, and then they also are available to you out on the MLS. Next up is showing time. So showing time is our main tool we use here in the MLS for scheduling showings. You guys can see I am using our president, Shane Spring, as a guinea pig today so that you guys see exactly the same thing. You know, if I use my profile, you're not going to see the same thing. So out here, this is where you can set up showing. You can manage all of your showings. You can even get statistics on your showings and all the showings in the area. Lots of really, really cool tools through showing time. But there is a link that is directly on every single MLS so that you can click it and make showing appointments through there. There is a lot of features out in showing time. I know very simply to say it's a showing tool, but if you haven't taken a deep dive into it, go back and look at one of our recordings on showing time, because like I said, there's a lot of different reports and statistics and things that you can pull on this, whether you're trying to do a market update or if you're possibly trying to provide information to your seller for conversations when they say, hey, what have you done for my property? Well, hey, here's the statistics of what's going on in the area. And here's, you know, specifically how your property is performing and the feedback we've gotten, right? Lots of really, really great things that you can do to customize how you want to set up showings, right? Do you want to approve them? Do you want your seller to approve them? Is it vacant? So it's just go and show. What kind of feedback do you want to get from it? There's a lot of different ways that you can customize that and then save them as templates so that you don't have to recreate the wheel every single time. All right, let me see. I think we've got another question. Nope, we're good. So next up is MLS Advantage. This is another Florida Realtors tool that we have linked here for you on the dashboard. This tool has a feed from all of us. So we feed into it along with a lot of your other associations around the state. So what it does is allows you to search up listings from around the entire state of Florida. You can see here they've got very basic parameters for properties that you can pull. We'll do like a quick map search here. We'll do a circle around, control zoom, just give you guys a quick preview of what it looks like. And we'll keep zooming in. It doesn't want to load. It's giving me a hard time. So in here, though, you can pull each property from around the state and be able to see some basic parameters around it. So this is really helpful if you are working with somebody and they're like, hey, you know, I know we said we were looking in Cape Coral, but I just saw some properties out in Sarasota. You can say, okay, well, which one were you looking at? And then you can grab information out here. What's really, really important at the end of the day is, you know, if it's especially out of an area or an MLS that you are not a part of, it's going to give you the listing agent's information. It's going to give you confidential remarks so that you can start to have a conversation with that listing agent, set up appointments, and be able to give a little bit more information to your potential buyers about, you know, what it is that they're looking at and go from there. So MLS Advantage, basically your statewide MLS. It is not going to have every single field that you see in our MLS because every single MLS is different, but it will give you a good amount of information to be able to start those conversations. Next up is RPR. RPR is offered to everyone via the National Association of Realtors. All right, what we're going to do really quick is we're going to go back out and we're going to go into my profile. So RPR is a massive database tool, which allows you to do multitude of things. Again, and you're going to hear me repeat this several times. If you have not been to one of our classes on RPR, I highly suggest it because it does so many things for you. What you can do first and foremost is you can search any property. So whether you're on the buyer side or you're on the seller's side, you can look up a property and find every piece of information that you might need on it. It pulls in from the tax roll, it pulls in from public remarks, it pulls in from the MLSs, it pulls in everything. So it's kind of like without having to, and you guys can see our last class here, we were having fun, and you can do a nationwide search. So if you needed to find information, let's say you've got somebody, they're like, hey, I am moving down from Boston and I'm, going to buy here in Florida, but I need to sell up in Boston. You can look up their house up in Boston, find information on that. And then you can come down here and you can search through any of these properties. It also allows you to do a massive amount of farming, marketing, prospecting. If you're looking to do any kind of market trends report, you can see all of these are here on the guided tours. It's just massive amounts of data. Again, pulling in the MLS, pulling in the property records from the tax rolls, and a lot of other information. You can also switch from residential to commercial. So for those of you who practice commercial, I know it's hard to find tools out there to do your research. You can do that as well. So we'll just pull up really quick. Oh, or Fort Myers. We'll pull up this example property, and then you can see here the crazy amount of information that there is on this property. Lots and lots and lots of data, lots and lots and lots of charts. So if you're working with a customer who really is like detail oriented and wants all of that data, this is going to be where you're going to find all of that. You can also create a CMA. So if you're working with a seller instead and you're trying to look up the property, you have them on the phone, they're saying, oh, it's great, it's this and that. You can work through, you can start taking notes on here and then build out your CMA later. And your CMA could be anywhere from 5 pages all the way to, I've seen reports as large as 90 pages. So again, fits every personality type. So RPR, your data tool, that is great for CMAs, it's great for market trends, it's great for prospecting. And if you need help through any of those things, you click these buttons right here and it'll do a walkthrough for you. Next up is Realist. Realist is another data hub. So we've got, I like to think of like the big 3 that we have that are data hubs out here. And they all do different things and they all function differently. So you figure out which one works best for you and then you can stick with that. I used to use all 3. Realist is provided by Cotality, which is also the same same developer that gives us the product Matrix, your MLS. So you'll notice that this looks very, very similar to MLS. Again, they are pulling in all of the MLS information and all of the property data information and plugging it in here. You've got lots of map overlays, you've got lots of filters, and then you're going to have all of your results down here. There are a lot of filters that exist only in RPR that Realist doesn't have, and vice versa. There's stuff in Realist that I don't see in RPR or in another product we're going to go over in a minute, which is Remine. So depending on what it is, like what your forte is, what your niche is, depends on which tool you're going to want to use. And also depends on, which one your brain likes best. They all work differently. Their layouts are differently, but that's fine because there's something for everybody here. All right, next up, we'll close these tools out now that I have 100 tabs open. Next up is Agent 3000, and this tool is something that we could also talk about for days because it is a marketing whiz. So there are a lot of tools out here that are provided to you for free through us, Florida Gulf Coast MLS, and then they also have an upgraded version. You see here, purchase website and CRM. All of these tools along the side are the ones that you do get. The website and the CRM are the only pieces that you have to pay for an upgrade. They do have a long list of what those things do, and it is at a great price of $25 per month or annually at $250 per month. Aside from that, all of these ones running down along the side, you get. So you can use their AI, which is built for real estate. They have lots of flyer templates. They've got landing pages. They've got QR codes. They've got text codes. They've got virtual business cards and anything else that you might need. Come out here, click through it. I like to tell everybody you can't break it. So certainly come out here and click through it to find out what it is that you might need. Again, you don't want to have to be paying for something that you already have through Agent 3000. Next up is Remine. This is the 3rd data tool that I talked about, right? There was the big 3. It's RPR, Realist, and Remind. Did they all have to start with an R and confuse you guys? Absolutely. That's what happens here. But out here in Remind, this is again Data Hub pulling in MLS. It's pulling in the public information on the property. It also has a lot of other tools that are fed in here, like it pulls in school data information. There is also, let me see if I click into one of these and I can show you guys. A lot like the other tools, create CMA, you can take notes, show it on the map, lots of information. This one happens to be listed, so it is showing all of that listing information at the moment. Parcel details so that you can get the measurements, flood risk, location, street view. But I want to show you guys the different tools that it pulls in here. The valuation, you can see here all the different valuations that are floating out there on the internet. And I know like some of you are like, oh, I hate those. Well, this isn't telling you that this is what the property should be worth. This is just telling you exactly what your consumer is seeing on the internet so that you're ready for those conversations. But this is one of the tools that's plugged into Remind. This is AirDNA. So for those of you who are working with people who are like buying homes to turn them into Airbnbs, VRBO, whatever it might be. This is a great program where it takes all this information, plugs it into it, and it'll tell you what their possible revenue might be. Great demographic reports, and then owners and associated people. This information gets scrubbed while it's listed, but for a lot of other properties, if you're prospecting, you can find, as long as they haven't scrubbed it, you'll find their email and their phone number, and it'll tell you if it's on the DNC list or not. But again, lots of information for every single property, lots of possible filters here. Everybody's favorite filters are the sell scores that they do have. That will tell you how likely they are to sell instead of you having to figure it out. Most of the time we come out here and we do searches and we say, okay, well, how long have they been in the property and how much equity do they have? And, we try to figure it out on our own. However, you don't have to do that because they do have a sellability score in here. You can save searches, you can create carts, you can even engage your customers into this portal if you would like as well and set them up on this portal. It is great if you have sellers, right? Because most of the time, if you have buyers, you're setting them up in MLS for new properties. But out here, you can set up your sellers so that they can see the movement around them for, one day when they're ready to go. But it'll also give them access to things that are off market so they can start trying to wrap their head around the decisions they're making for listing. And again, some more filters down here on the side. So 3 great data hubs for whatever type of research it is that you are trying to do, whether it's a CMA, whether you're just trying to create marketing material for that marketing report, trying to dig in on a listing you might get, trying to dig in on a listing your buyers might want. There's so many different things that you guys have to do that you need all of this data for every day. So again, RPR, Realist, and Remind, they're right up here up top. All right, Supra. I don't need to click into this one because it does exist primarily on your phone, but obviously this one is your e-key access. So Supra is the app on your phone so that you can enter into all the Supra boxes in our area. You can also go out there and you can set up your lockbox to have certain parameters. Maybe you want to make sure nobody accesses the property like after 8 p.m. or before 6 a.m. You want to see who accessed the property, get all of those different data points. You can log into Supra and get all the information on your boxes that is needed. Broker Command is a broker tool. If we have any brokers on the call, this is, if it looks very familiar, built by the same company as Agent 3000. You can come out here and get information and reporting on the performance of different agents, different offices. You can pull all kinds of, let's see here, do an agent search. So then you can pull all kinds of information. I don't want to share too much with you guys on here, but you'll be able to pull all kinds of reports on your own office, other offices, see where you compare. And for a lot of you agents, you're wondering like, hey, how do other offices get like the reporting? They know like where they rank. And you can ask that of your broker and your broker can come out here and they can pull the reports in here. All right, next up is Builders Update. This is a tool that has information about builders on it. We do have a newer tool that I'm going to get to here in a minute that has a lot more information on it, but this looks a lot like your MLS, right? But it just has new construction information in it. Next up is a link here into realtor.com. This is so that you can manage your profile with realtor.com. It will link you right into it with the SSO. It won't work for me because I'm not a realtor. So if you guys click in there, you can edit your information, claim your listings, do all that fun stuff with realtor.com. And I would pay attention. We're going to have some announcements coming out because we are moving forward with the realtor.com plus, and we will have more tools available to you and your consumers that are looking for properties through realtor.com. Some just again, more options to you guys that will be coming out at the end of June. But watch your member weeklies because it will have all the information in there for what you guys can expect for the new realtor.com tool. Let me check our Q&A, make sure we don't have any questions. All right. Next up is Rent Spree. So our Rent Spree tool will help you with any type of property management or rental management that you may need. Out here, it syncs with the MLS. So if you enter in a rental, when you're entering the rental into MLS, it'll say, do you want to use Rent Spree? Yes or no. If you click yes, a Rent Spree application link will automatically go out on to your MLS. You will be able to manage the properties out here. You can do screenings, you can collect payments so that you will be able to set up the tenants, you will be able to set up your owners, and you'll be able to set up any kind of application process and screening that you might need. Really, really great tool for you guys to utilize, whether you're just placing a tenant or needing to do the full property management, that is out here for you. And we regularly have Rent Spree that comes in on MLS Mondays to talk with you guys about how to use the tool to its fullest extent. So you can go back and find a recording on that as well. All right, List Track is a great tool, which we provide you guys a discount for this one. So their model does require a subscription for this, but you do get a discount through Florida Gulf Coast MLS for List Track. And what this does is provides reports on your properties and your listings and tells you like, hey, you got this many views on this website and you got this many views on this website, this many inquiries, this many click-throughs, right? Like whenever you run an ad on social media, you get that whole report that tells you how many views, how many clicks, how many interactions. You're going to get that, but it's specifically for all of the syndication sites that you are sending out to. So you can see here, they've got some of them listed, and this is kind of the report that you get so that you can look through everything on a regular basis. The reports are interactive, but then they will also give you these nice printouts that you can provide to your sellers. Pretty cool tool. All right, next up, these are for me. You guys don't have that. So next on your dashboard, you have Domus Analytics. And Domus Analytics is a market stats tool. It is really, really cool. Go out there, play with it, grab all the data that you can. It's really, really good for first and foremost marketing, whether you're doing a regular email newsletter, you're posting on social media, whatever it is that you're doing, you should always be adding in market insights to your communications, but it also is a great tool if you're trying to communicate with your sellers on how the market's doing, right? And I hate to bring it up because it's like a sore subject, but days on market, they're increasing and everybody's stressed about days on market. So when your sellers are coming at you and they're saying, OMG, my property's been on the market for 30 days, you didn't tell me. And you're like, no, we had this conversation, dude. You can come out here and pull information on days on market, on average pricing, all those different things. You've got 4 different categories here to choose from. Market infographics. I like to say it starts very basic and then it gets more detailed. Like this is just like a simple image that you can come out here and grab. You've got a couple of different parameters that you can change. And then you can just grab this, post it out wherever you might need to. As you move through each tool, again, it adds in more data points and it becomes more detail oriented. So depending on what you need, do you need something simple? Are you having like a more in-depth integrated or in-depth conversation with your consumer? Whatever it is that you might need, Domus Analytics has that for you. I'll click through each of these so that you can just get a brief view. This is a chart builder. So instead of, having all of the data laid out, you can really get into the nitty gritty on specific timelines and parameters and build yourself a graph for whatever conversation you might be having with somebody. And if you've been in one of my MLS Mondays before, you know that this last tool here is one of my absolute favorites because it helps you guys with the conversations you might be having with your sellers, you'll choose out your parameters. You have to make sure every single box is selected. It'll start pulling in data points there, and then we'll hide these filters. So what this does is it shows you the median of the overall price and the price per square foot based on the parameters you chose, right? So this isn't all of Cape Coral. What did I choose? All of Cape Coral, single families, active, closed, pendings, just in the last month. But then you can plug in your own information over here. So proposed list price, we're going to say they proposed 550, 1,200 square foot. And then you get this beautiful gray line. I know I way went under here, but you get this beautiful gray line here. So it shows you what I like to say, where you land amongst the stars. These are all the data points. So you've got the pendings, you've got the actives, you've got the closed. You can see them all here. It shows you where that average is for the overall data and then where yours lands. So you could see if I were to list, be nice if I put another 0 in here. No wonder it's way off. So if I were to list it at 550,000, 1,200 square foot home, we are way above average for price per square foot. We're slightly above average for overall price in the area. But if you're sitting down having a conversation with your seller and they're like, yeah, like my neighbor sold for 550,000. Well, your neighbor has, we'll say, your neighbor has 1,800 square foot. So yeah, they're closer to this, but you don't, you have 1,200 square foot. I know my buttons here. So you're, way above. No, you guys. So great way to have conversations. But I also like to say, if you're sitting down with your buyers and they're trying to figure out what to do for an offer, this is also a great tool for that as well. Come out here, play around with it, use your own home. I like to say add more filters so that your plot graph isn't so crazy. I added in everything, but this is like way too much data. But really, really cool tool for you to come out here and play around with and use as an interactive tool with your seller or possible buyer. All right, next up is the IMLS. This is the International MLS. There is a lot of, if you're working with customers, in other countries, or you're trying to gain customers from other countries, I would say come out here, look at this tool, go through all the benefits you get. All of our listings are fed out onto IMLS, so you are getting that exposure automatically. When you log in here, you'll be able to click in and see all of your listings if you have any. I don't have any, so you can see what they look like. But then they also have upgrades, so if you wanted to do additional promotion globally, you can certainly do that. You can learn more. They've got lots of video tutorials. But this goes out onto all the global market websites, including the IMLS, which stands for the International MLS. Great tool if you are, a global expert. Offers Manager is as simple as its title. It is a way to manage all of your offers. So you can first and foremost search for a property. Let's see if we just start typing in, if it'll pop something up for us. It won't. So you can search for a property out here, pull it up and submit your offer through this portal. You can also put your listings in here and request that all of your offers come in through the offers manager so that you can better keep track of it. I'm just going to grab you guys a listing really quick. And this tool is connected in with ShowingTime, as you can see. So if you're already using ShowingTime, it's really easy to link these properties. My goodness. It is really easy to link these properties through so that if they do a showing in your feedback, the offers manager will populate it back out. So if you had shown it recently as well, it will show it here so that you can just click send in an offer. It will email the realtor as well as email you. And it asks you basic questions up front. It'll say, what type of an offer is this? Is it VA? Is it cash? And then it'll ask just a couple of basic parameters and it'll create a summary for them. And I don't know why I'm struggling, probably just because I'm live on the MLS. All right, we'll give that a break. So if you come out here though, you can submit offers through it. You can also receive your offers. You can organize everything. It'll timestamp everything. It'll also allow you guys to communicate back and forth. Again, it will alert you through whatever email you have on file, so you don't have to worry about always coming out to this, but it's a great way of keeping everything organized and seeing a summary of everything. You can also share it directly with your sellers or buyers so that they can see the summary reports as well. All right, next up is One Home. So One Home, which is mainly linked over in the MLS system, this is where you will plug in all of your buyers. You can see all of my class test contacts here. But if you click through it on the dashboard, here you're going to see all of your contacts, be able to see exactly what they're seeing. But most of One Home is going to be utilized out in MLS and Matrix. That's where you will set up your buyers so that they can search for properties with you and you alone. Make sure you have all of your marketing and your settings and branding in Matrix up to date so that when they look at this, you can have your logo up here, you can have your colors up here, and then it will also have your beautiful face down here along with all of your information. If you have any questions on One Home, we've got a lot of training for you out on the YouTube channel, along with inside of Matrix. Cubicasa is a really cool tool that we've launched in the past year. And you'll notice that this tool is mainly used on the phone. So it is an app. This landing page will have you set up your account, and then you'll download the app and log in with the account that you've created. You want to make sure that you create your account through this link so that you get your free access. You can utilize this app to walk through homes and create yourself a layout that you can then upload into the MLS or use for whatever marketing you might need. They create beautiful floor plans. You do get them for free, and then you can upgrade to more advanced floor plans for a discounted price through Florida Gulf Coast MLS. It doesn't take much. And I know that some of us are going, OMG, that's not my specialty. I promise you it's not mine either. And I've done it several times. It tells you where to walk. It tells you if you're too close. It tells you if you're too far. And then again, you can create all of these different great floor plans. You do get this one for free, and then you can upgrade them if you want. I think it's really, really important nowadays. Consumers are looking for more and more data and more resources, especially in our area, because they're always coming from out of the area. They want to know what the size of the rooms are. They want to know if their furniture is going to fit. And they're not always coming down here to look at the properties right away before they write them off. So again, you walk around with that app, you scan it, you upload it, and then you wait. It says 6 to 24 hours. They're usually pretty quick. They've given themselves a good window here, but you get that floor plan, and then you can also upgrade it if you want to. Really, really cool way to add more media into your listing. Next up is Dotloop. So we have partnered with Dotloop, which is another forms management tool. You can come out here and you can create multiple, what they call them, loops, which are transactions and files here, where you can add in information around your contracts. You can add in all of the information about your contact as well. And then you can add in the forms. You can do e-signatures, all of those things. So if you're looking for a transaction or forms manager, Dotloop is available to you. You do get your first 8 loops for free. And then after that, if you want to upgrade, you can. When you close a deal, it closes out the loop and gives you the availability for another loop. So you just basically can have up to 8 transactions going at a time. But really great tool. Like I said, for those of you who love form simplicity, great. If you don't, we've got Dotloop, or if you have something else that you like to use, you can certainly use that. And this is also linked in under the same tools that come with Offers Manager and with Showing Time. So they all communicate very well together. Dotloop, Offers Manager, Showing Time, and Market Stats are all owned by the same corporation. All right, next up is Flood Stats. Flood Stats is a place where we have a offering to you to get a discounted determination report. So this obviously the flood topic is a very sensitive topic here in Florida. Everybody is very, very concerned about where they're buying and the flood status and whether it's in a flood zone, what flood zone it's in, and what it's going to be in the future. And hey, give me a crystal ball and tell me if the hurricane's going to bother my house next year, right? So the flood zone determination report, it's only $25 through us. That gives you the entire full report. Let me see here. They do have a sample report. As I like to say, they already have that cake baked in the oven for you so you can see what it looks like. These are all of the things that you get. Down here is the official report. It looks familiar to you probably because you've seen it through something that your insurance guru has provided to you. And then if you continue to scroll down, you've got the full report. And here you've got the parcel map. You can see for their example one, they chose one where like the flood zone comes right through the corner of it. We love it when that happens. But a lot of the maps here. And so if you're being told it's in a different flood zone than what the determination report says, they do have a hotline help number down here. They'll walk you through going through the process of trying to get that corrected so that it doesn't affect their insurance. And they've got a lot of great information and experts there. Their reports are all insured and backed, so that's a great resource to use there. If you have questions on the insurance reports and what the meanings are, I would contact your favorite insurance rep. But this is just a great way to be a resource of the source. I wouldn't start like dabbling into explaining insurance. You don't want to, get in trouble with ethics there. But, if you've got a home that looks like it's near a flood zone, but it's not, you can certainly pay $25, pull this report and attach it to your MLS listing to help boost the credibility of the flood status of your listing. Or flip side, if you're on the buyer side and your buyer is like super, super worried about it and, they're looking at properties, you can go ahead and pull those reports for $25 and send it over to them to help ease their worry. Next up, what you guys have available is Real Reports. Real Reports is a really, really cool tool. Again, this is one of our newer ones, and it is another data resource tool, but it has AI built into it. So this will create reports for you to provide to, I agree, to provide to either your sellers or your buyers. I'm going to use this same address here again. So you can get the snapshot report for free or the pro report for $20. It tells you what's in addition here. For the upgrade, I've pulled a lot of snapshot free reports and have not needed the upgrade. So don't worry, they're not kind of like holding everything back from you. We here at Florida Gulf Coast MLS have gone ahead and gotten you guys the snapshot reports. Once it pulls all of that data, it'll give you the availability to either send it right off to your seller or buyer, or you can download it and send it out from your personal email. And then it'll prompt you here, make sure you update your marketing, your information in it. But it pulls in a lot of stuff around the valuation, all the data. It's pulling in the public information, the MLS information, but it also, what they really specialize in, what they've been growing a lot lately is like the demographics of the neighborhood. And, we always talk about trying to be careful. You don't want to get into any issues with ethics or fair housing or anything like that. So you want to be the resource of the source. So use these different data tools to provide demographics. Don't explain the demographics to them. You can just give them these reports so that you're being nice and safe. But what's great about this tool, which we can scroll on for days, they even have the internet information, the phone information, what the bills will look like there, flood zone, environmental, current cost of flood insurance for that area, temperatures, precipitation, wind, additional information on the weather. Crazy amount of information. What's really cool is Aiden is their AI. And you can talk to Aiden and ask it anything. So if you are on the phone with a buyer or a seller and you're needing information quick, because we know how our clients like to just like shoot rapid fire questions at us, use Aiden to ask questions. I have put this guy to the test, or gal, we've put in this AI to the test so many times. And it's never proven me wrong. I've asked it things about the roof. I've asked it, hey, like what's the HOA fees? Um, I've asked it, lots of different questions. It goes out there, it finds it for me. And I've fact checked it, like I said, a billion times, and it's always been there for me. So there it goes with all of the information there for you. They also have a lot of great other tools running down along the side. Oh, this is more of the information. But if we go back to the dashboard here, aside from just giving you those reports and the data, it's got lead activity, it's got prospector, Pulse is a way to keep an eye on properties for your consumers, and then they have an entire training section. But check out Real Reports. It's one of our newest data tools, and again, it has a good amount of AI built into it. Next up is Market Stats. This is another market analytics tool to provide you different information, charts, a lot like Domus Analytics, but it has an entirely different view in a different way of comparing the data. So you can choose your price range, property type, construction type, square footage, and then you can scroll through your other parameters here of everything you can filter by. But what's interesting is up here, you can compare and contrast different areas. So right now it's showing us the entire MLS, the average sales price. But if you wanted to add in, let's say like, okay, what about Cape Coral versus the entire MLS? There you go. You've got your two different parameters, and you can continue to add tabs. We'll say, we can even do, we can do specific communities, specific subdivisions, I should say. And it'll compare and contrast those. You can look at all of these different parameters, new listings, how many homes are for sale currently, pending sales, closed sales, days on market, everybody's favorite topic, the months of supply, list price, price per square foot, dollar volume, showing versus pending, and showing versus showings per listing. So like I said, this tool is paired in with showing time, dot loop, and all of that. So that's how they're able to get these two parameters that you won't see in the other tools, because they are comparing it to the information that they're collecting inside of showing time. Kind of cool. So again, we've got two different tools for market stats, but it just depends on what you're looking for and what you like. You'll find some filters in here that you won't find in Domus, but you will also find a good amount of filters in Domus that you won't find in here. And some people visually like Domus Analytics better than they like market stats, and vice versa, right? So I'm not here to say either one is better. It's whatever fits your personality, but they're both there. And again, I am like the nerd that just uses both of them. Maverick Systems is a tool that is available out to our brokers. And I can't click into it because I'm not a broker. But if you are a broker and you click into it, you will get a discount to become a member of Maverick Systems. And what Maverick Systems does for you is gives you all kinds of analytic data on your agents and the agents around you. So it is primarily a recruiting tool or a keep your agents happy tool, but it'll tell you based on their activity and their behaviors, if they are likely to leave or not, what they're doing, what you can do to help them succeed. Lots of crazy amounts of data and analytics in here for brokers. And like I said, make sure if you're going to use Maverick Systems, click through this tile to get to it so that you do get your discount. We're almost there, guys. All right, Property Panorama. This is one of our newer tools, and this tool is a marketing genius as well. It does different things from our previous marketing tool, but in here, the primary thing that you will see is, I don't have any listings. Hold on one second. We're going to switch profiles again. In here, it will provide to you guys a virtual tour link. And many of you may notice if you've been listing stuff lately that you automatically get a virtual tour link. And that's because it is integrated into our MLS. So anytime you upload photos in your description into the MLS, it automatically creates that link and puts it in there for you. Now, if you already put a virtual tour link in there, your link will come first. Our link will, it just won't feed, right? But if you don't put anything in there, it'll do that for you. It'll give you a landing page. It'll give you a walkthrough. and everything based off of what you put inside of the MLS. So again, we're using Shane as an example here. And let's get our virtual tour links. You've got the branded and unbranded. It is putting all the unbranded ones in the MLS. And I'll give you guys a quick look at what that looks like. All right, so here's the virtual tour site. It takes all the photos from the MLS, puts them in a spin through, and then all of the information is also running down here along the bottom so that if they end up on this site, they can find out more information about it, like the pricing and the description, all of that fun stuff. So in here, you also have the capability to automatically share it out to any of your social medias if you wanted to connect them. You also have multiple property flyers that you can get. You can pay extra and have them do your advertising for you on Instagram, Facebook, or out on Google and websites. It creates a video for you. So if you wanted to take that slideshow that it was showing on the virtual tour site with music behind it, then you can certainly grab that video so that people can play it. You can upload it onto YouTube, put it on your Facebook page, whatever you might need. You can also get a text code for that virtual tour. So this is your code. So you could put this on a sign writer outside your house if you wanted to. You would say, text P2KDHY7 to 844-498-8687, and they would automatically get a link to that virtual tour for you. And then you can also create multiple media links to go out onto that virtual tour website. So some really, really cool things, but they also have upgrades. The virtual tour and everything you see here for flyers, virtual tour, and connecting yourself, all free. But they do have InstaView and AdTensify, which are additional marketing tools that you can get for an upgrade. But we love Property Panorama. We all have virtual tours now, and those virtual tour links, the reason it's so important for you guys is when it feeds out to all of these syndication sites like Realtor.com, Zillow, Homes.com, and all the other sites, the more data and the more information, the more rich media that you have on these listings, the higher up your listing comes up in a search, right? So those virtual tour links are helping giving your listings a boost out there on the internet. All right, for our tiles, last but not least, we have Neo. Neo is one of our newest tools. And what Neo is all new construction here. So it will prompt you to go ahead and create your profile. And then once you do that, you won't have to do it any longer once you click through here. And you can search through all new construction. The reason that Neo has a separate platform for new construction is, as most of you know, inside of our MLS, you have to, if you're going to list something that is new construction, you have to have a permit number for it. You can't list just like a concept of an idea of a property. It has to have a permanent number and then a fixed address. So where Neo fills in the gap is for anything that, you know, they've got all the information on all these communities and possible available inventory that has not broken ground or anything like that. So if you have somebody who's looking for new construction, right, Neo stands for new estate only. So if they're looking for new construction and they're not like, you know, they've got some time, they're looking for a builder possibly, come out to Neo. You can plug them in there. They can search through the communities and all of their possible models, things that haven't broken ground yet. And it helps you, again, fill in that gap with them. It'll have all the community amenities and all of that fun stuff that you can also filter by. A lot of your builders, Neo's gone out and gotten feeds with them, which is the difference from the builders update. Neo's got a lot of feeds going on with the new construction builders around the area. Really, really cool new tool. And I know we're getting close to the end of our hour here. So speed round through your other resources that you have down below. This is all of your membership items where you can sign up for your classes and where you can sign up for your events. You also have all of the training resources out here. We talked about, this is the YouTube channel. Information on the clear cooperation policy is here. Your rules and regulations are here. MLS training will bring you to that same website we looked at before on rpcra.org. And the Learning Lab is another tool provided to you through Cotality. They will teach you and take a deep dive on anything that is their tool. So they have training out here on the MLS, on One Home, and on Realist, and a couple of new tools that we've got coming out soon as well. These are all the links to the mobile apps. And then additional resources down here, all of your websites that you might need, whether it's Florida Realtors, NAR, our website. But what's really, really important are these two tools down here that are also offered to you. Forewarn is offered to you through Florida Realtors. This will bring you out to allow you to create your profile, but we don't have it up on the top because it is primarily an app that is provided to you through Florida Realtors. So Forewarn allows you to use phone numbers to look up people's records. It is a safety and a fraud prevention tool. It is not meant to be used to stalk your best friends. It is meant to be a safety tool. So if you get a call from a client and you want to look them up to verify that they are indeed the seller or they are indeed who they say they are before you go out and meet them, you need to make sure that they are going to be something that makes you feel unsafe. You can use Forewarn for that. Really, really great safety tool. And then Ad Builder. Ad Builder is something that is featured in your MLS Touch app, right? The way that you would get the MLS on your phone is via MLS Touch. And in there, Ad Builder is built into that. If you have any listings, if you go out onto your app and you click into your listings, there'll be a little Ad Builder button and they will help you in creating advertisements for your listings. You can simply post out your listings, or if you want to, you can pay and it will create your ads for you for all of the social medias and for Google and things like that. A great way to, I like to call it the easy button because we all know that it's very, very hard to create ads on Facebook and Instagram and Google and all these platforms. They have 100 different questions and they all operate differently. One click of the button, you can post out to all of them. They ask you the questions that you need in a simplified venue so you can get there quickly. And all of the social medias linked down here below. So with our last 3 minutes, last but not least, the MLS. You guys, unless you're brand new today, you will have to, you read later. You have so many notifications. Okay. So inside of your MLS here, if you've not taken any kind of training for it, go back and watch some videos because obviously this is our main tool here that does a lot. But one of the tools that is really, really important, I'm going to go into a listing here and manage the photos. We have Respi AI built into Matrix now for all of your photos. And what this does is if you do click this button off when you submit your photos, it will identify every room for you in this drop down. You can see here that he did it manually. So he said, yep, this is the living room, this is the dining room. It will identify them all for you. And then it will also write out the descriptions for you via AI. The reason that these photo descriptions are so important for you guys is that it helps you be more ADA compliant. So if somebody is using a tool that allows, if they cannot see and they are using a tool that explains the photo to them, the more description you have written in there, the better they're going to be able to understand the listing. And the more ADA compliant your listing is, the better off it's going to show up on all of these sites as well, right? Like the more information you have on the photos, aside from being ADA compliant, it's just the more data that you have, the more likely it is that you're going to show up, your listings are going to show up at the top for Zillow, Realtor.com, or any of those other things. So that's a cool tool built into the MLS. And then last but not least, you can see I logged back into mine to give you guys a quick preview. We do have one homeowner is launching tomorrow. So you will start to see this little button here on your dashboard. And what one homeowner does is you've got one home already, right? We talked about that. That's for your buyers so that they can search and find all their information. One homeowner is for after that transaction or any sellers, homeowners, I should say, that you might know. You can plug in your contacts here and their address of their home that they currently own, and it'll help them keep updated on all the information around their property. It'll send them regular updates on their equity. They can store all of the information on their appliances, on any permit records. It has 100 different tools in there for your home owners. Which is a great way for you to keep in contact because we know that on an average they move every 5 to 7 years, and you want them to remember you when they decide to do their next transaction. So we will have training in June for this tool, but they also have a lot of videos back out here Come back down, full circle moment to the learning lab. So you'll have lots of videos out there for it as well. Really, really cool tool launching tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled for that. All right, guys, it is 12:01, and I appreciate all of you who have stuck it out for an hour here. If you have any questions on these tools or how to use anything, you need anything at all, you've got an entire team here in your MLS department that can answer you via email, which is mls@rpcra.org, or you can call us here at the office anytime 8:30 to 5 o'clock from Monday through Friday. Just press the button for MLS, and we got a whole team here waiting to help you guys out. So hopefully we see you guys next Monday, and I wish you guys all a successful week.